if you've not yet filled the IND SAT form. Okay, and that was the idea. That's why I thought she could come here and spend some time with us. So type in your questions if you have not yet. So anybody here, can you say if our will be postponed or cancelled? So I don't think the exam would be cancelled, right? I don't think any of such high level exams are ever, cancelled. Mostly what happens is not just IND SAT, but there are multiple other exams, right now planned in India for like 10 lakh people, like about a million people, imagine, take tests, right? Like UGC, NET, and many other exams. But what happens is that exams could sometimes be postponed. Okay. So we were given the time that, the exams would be around the mid of May, and 15th of April is the deadline for filling the form. And that's why what we had said is we had said that, okay, if that's the deadline, we should all fill the form. So far, they have not yet said that whether there will be any extension in the deadline. So we don't know whether exam will be held again or will be postponed or anything like that. So far, the deadline stands at 15th of April. And that's why I thought it'll be nice to bring her here. If some of you have any questions, anybody who's not filled the form yet, some of the queries I was getting regarding, I have two email IDs and one I successfully registered, but with the other one, there were some questions. So I thought, okay, why not invite her here for this session and, get it answered, any of your queries. So that was the idea. So everybody here has filled the form. Is there anybody here in our class today who's not filled the form yet? I don't think so, right? I think everybody has filled the form. Sir, is it possible to return to our country during lockdown? I don't think so. It is possible to return to your country during the lockdown. But again, I'm not in the best position to answer. Your college and college authorities can also help. I don't think so. At this point of time, a lot of travel is stopped. Nowhere we are allowed, in fact, even in India, some family members are here, somebody's family member is in another state, but all that travel is stopped. So wherever you are right now, it is advised that for your best health as well as your loved one's health, stay there where you are. So yeah. All right, so we have everybody, right, joined in. Okay, excellent. Somehow a lot of people have not yet come. I don't know what's the reason. Okay, but anyways, all right. So let me see how many people are on YouTube chat as well, because a lot of people go on YouTube live as well, right? Okay, there are some people watching us on YouTube as well. Okay, great. So guys, today, the topic for today's class is ratios. So I thought your ma'am could come in for like 10 minutes, and then I could discuss some topics like ratios, and then we could discuss questions on ratios. Sometimes there are questions on partnerships as well. So if you remember in our previous class, we did a map of what all has been covered so far and what are the topics that are remaining that we are yet to cover. Okay. Okay, so somebody saying my documents from two Gmail account, is there any problem? Sir, if I submit documents from two Gmail account, I mean, ideally that should not be, that is not the right thing to do. So basically what happens is that for your registration, there should be one email ID. So one person is supposed to have one email ID. You can't have like 10 accounts, right? So normally what happens is that 2-3 accounts could be a little bit of a problem, but wherever you have successfully registered, right? Wherever you were able to successfully register and you got that successful registration email, I would say use that email ID, use that documents. Yeah, that is my advice, right? Even when, let's say, we prepare for any exam or anything, you have one mobile number, you have one email ID. That is your always primary email ID, right? That you use for all official purposes, right? Maybe some other email ID you have to talk to your friends, but keep that separate. Always the official email ID should be one. Okay. All right. So how many people know what is a ratio? Is the ratio covered in the class? No, right? How many people know what is a ratio? Okay, people are saying no. Okay. Do we know, anybody knows what is the difference between a ratio and a fraction? So anybody knows what is the difference between ratio and a fraction? Sir, if anybody fails, what he can do, can you suggest this? So what do you mean by that? That if anybody fails, like what do you mean by fails? Fails where? Habib Hassan is asking, if anybody fails, what will he do? Can you suggest this? I mean, this is just a scholarship test, right? In my view. So what happens is that, oh, foundation course. Okay, okay. That your ma'am will say. Okay, your ma'am will tell you if somebody fails. But otherwise, in the scholarship test, this is just eligible for scholarship. Okay, so somebody saying fraction is 1/2, that symbol, and ratio is 1:2. No, no, that is just the way to represent it, but both are just the same. Okay, so basically what happens is that fraction and ratio is a little different. Okay, actually a lot of times, 90% of the times, people use them interchangeably. Some people call fraction also same, ratio they call fraction. Okay, and a lot of times it's fine, but the genuine difference between fraction and ratio is that a fraction is typically part to whole. That means, for example, let's say in a class of 100 people, if there are, let's say, 60 boys, right, and 40 girls, so we will say what is the fraction of boys, meaning it would be 6/10 or 60/100, correct? And if I say what is the fraction of girls, I would say 4/10 or 40/100. Whereas if somebody asks what's the ratio of boys and girls in the class, that would be 60:40. Okay, let me just check if your ma'am has joined yet. Okay, not yet. Okay, right, so that's really the difference. Okay, so let's go to our class. Okay, and if your ma'am comes, we will stop in between. Okay, that's your primary ratio. All right, let me share my screen, guys. All right, so here when we talk about ratios, right, so if let's say we talk about a ratio of boys to girls, right, so I said 60:40. Okay, this is the ratio, right? Now one of the good things about ratio, or one of the unique things about ratio, is if let's say something is 60/40, okay, this is the same as you can simplify it, and it could also be your 6/4, or this is also your 3/2. That means ratio, when you talk about, just let me check if somebody has come. Okay, yeah, 3:2, right? So that is also the same thing. Okay, so all right, yeah, so now when you talk about 3:2, this is all the same. Okay, that means all of these are same. Okay, and for example, if you multiply anything in a ratio, right, so typically what happens is this is written in the form of numerator upon denominator. Okay, now if you multiply anything to numerator, let's say you multiply here with x, you should always multiply the same in denominator also. Okay, that's the thing with ratio. Okay, and if you do that, the ratio always remains the same. Okay, so for example, if let's say I say 60 upon 40, and let's say if I want to multiply 5 on both sides, numerator as well as denominator, what will become? 300 upon 200, correct? Again, I can divide this becomes 3 by 2, right? And here also 60 by 40 was nothing but 0, 0, 2 into 2, 4, 2 into 3, 6. So this was 3 by 2 only. That means this is really my simplified version. Okay, this is nothing but simply your ratio. Okay, okay, I think Komal has joined. Okay, so what I'll do now is, guys, I want to stop sharing my screen, right? And probably I'll invite Komal. Komal ma'am will come and she'll talk. So let me just make her the panelist. And let's say once she becomes panelist, I will make her the co-host. Okay, so she would like to talk to you guys regarding your IND SAT exam. Any questions that you have, anything regarding form filling, you can ask her in the chat. Hi Komal.
Hi Ashish.
Oh, hi. Can
Am I audible?
everybody hear Komal ma'am? Okay, so
Hello.
I will put my video off, Komal, so that your video can come on. Okay.
Okay, all right.
You can put your video on as well. Yeah.
Ashish, am I audible and
Yes,
also is
you're audible and visible. Yes, you're good to
all
go.
right?
Yes.
Sure. So, hi everyone. Good evening, and I hope everyone's doing well and everyone's safe at home. Just wanted to give you guys an update about the Study in India portal and how you should take the registrations forward. And I hope that all of you have almost completed the registrations. But here today, I'm here because I want to understand if you guys have any issues while applying. If you do, please send in your questions so that we can discuss it right now. And if you have any issues, do kindly let me know, and then we'll take this forward. But I really want each and everyone to register yourself so that because the last day is 15th of April, so there won't be any extension after which. So if there's any question, please shoot.
So Komal, I'll share some questions. Okay, some of the questions that they had asked. So
Sure.
somebody had asked questions like, if I submit my documents from 2 Gmail accounts, is that a problem?
No, no. So what usually happens is, Ashish, there are students who usually apply once, and once they submit it, they realize that the document that they uploaded wasn't right, or sometimes they realize that the information that they had uploaded was not right. So what they can usually do is create another Gmail account. So also, I'd like to mention this is a very important point, that when you are registering, make sure that Jain University is your first option, because you all are doing a foundation course here. If you don't choose Jain University, it will become an issue, and then later for you to get a scholarship also might become an issue. So please choose Jain University as your first option, and also choose the correct course that you want to study. So for example, if a student wants to study BBA, and but his second option might be a BCom, so he can choose both a BBA and BCom at Jain University. But your options, you can keep the course options open, but make sure that you select only Jain University. So that's one of it. But yes, coming back to the question, that you can definitely have, make a new registration from another email ID, but also you'll also have to add another phone number. So you can add your parents' phone number, your friends, or anybody. Usually they do not send messages on the phone, it's only through email. So make sure that the email ID you will be registering with is valid. That's the only thing, Ashish. Is there any other question?
Yeah. So other question was that what if somebody fails the foundation course? So is there an exam for the foundation course? And if somebody fails, what happens then?
Okay, so the exam that we're going to be, so our the foundation course exam is something that's personal, right? So it's not related to any of the it's about how you have been studying in the last 2 months and how you have performed in the last 2 months. That's it. But when it comes to the IND SAT exam, you have to make sure that you get a minimum of the percentage that the government of India decided. So that is not out yet because of the lockdown. It was supposed to be, already it was supposed to be mentioned on the website, but right now due to the lockdown, they have not really mentioned about the aggregate marks. Of course, what I can do is send you a link of the other things that they have put in. But for the INSAT exam, I think there's another question that what would be the minimum. There is no minimum that has been decided yet, but they have given you you can say the way they're going to mark you. There's no negative marking, but we have mock tests. So I would suggest and also advise, please do take the mock tests for you to understand the pattern, the difficulty level. And again, the other question was that is
And
the
just to
yes.
add on, just to add on, so like Komal mentioned, see, there are no minimum marks required in the exam, but as the government has clearly mentioned, so they are giving for now 2,000 people will be
Hmm,
eligible for these
hmm.
scholarships. Out of that, 80% are UG, and so basically 1,600 people will get $3,500 per year scholarship. That's what is mentioned on the website. So around 2,000, top 2,000 people. So really, it
Correct.
is about top 2,000 people. Whether you get 80%, you're in the top 2,000, or if you get 60%, you could still be in the top 2,000.
No, no,
So
no.
that's
So
not mentioned yet, right?
no, no. Yeah, that's not mentioned yet. So we have fee waivers, all right. So if you, for example, the government says that if you get above 80%, then you get a 100% scholarship. If you get somewhere between 60 to 80, then you get a 50% scholarship. Or if you get something between below 50, then you have to pay the full fees or something like that. So we have fee waivers. So obviously, because you guys are getting trained on a daily basis, the probability of you getting the 100% scholarship is much more higher than a person who does not know what is going to come in the INSAT exam. So you are getting trained for it. So my request would be that please do take these INSAT, please do take the classes very seriously. And the INSAT exam also is because it was not there earlier. This is introduced newly. They're going to be very strict about how the scholarships are going to be given. It's not just on merit basis what you got in your 10th and 12th, but is also going to be your INSAT exam. So I really, I urge you to please study well. You have just one more month left. There is no change in the dates of INSAT exam as of now, and I wouldn't give you any of any fake promises that it might extend or it might postpone, or we don't know anything right now. But yes, the last date for registration is 15th, which is day after. Make sure all of you please register yourselves on the Study in India portal, and you will
Komal,
receive an
another
email.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, one question is, some of these folks are asking, some of them have gone back to, let's say, their own country, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
what will happen? Let's say if I'm in Bangladesh, or if I'm
Hmm.
in Afghanistan, how
Yeah.
can I take the INDSAT exam? Where will I be able to take? What will happen to me?
Yes, so the confusion arises there, Ashish, because initially it was decided if the students are in India, then there are two centers, one is in Delhi and one is in Bangalore. So the students who are already here from Bangladesh, Nepal, and Afghanistan, those students will be given centers in Bangalore, and that's when they'll be dispersed and asked to write the exam. But now that this due to this the COVID-19 pandemic, the government hasn't really decided how they're going to be conducting the online exam, uh, which is not yet decided. So I wouldn't want to comment on that right now. But if there would be an update, I would surely send an email to everybody and let them know. I think we're also active on the WhatsApp group, and I hope everybody is also there on the group. If somebody is missing out, please add them as well so that we can discuss about whatever any update that comes from the government right now. Right now, there is no update as in how it's supposed to be held. Nothing has been decided. Once we get an update, we'll definitely let you know.
Yes, of course. So Ritika is asking, will it be computer based? Of course. So many times we have
Yes,
told you computer based. There's a mock test also available on the Study in India portal. On our Step Up portal also, there's a free mock test available exactly on the same pattern. So yes, it will be computer based. And
correct.
one more question, somebody asked that what if I want to go back? Is there a possibility I want to go back to, let's say, my country? Is it possible now?
Now, of course, it's not possible. I think up to the 30th of April, we don't have any flights that'll be running, and we will get to know tomorrow. I think, as all of us know, we are going to have a speech by the Prime Minister. Will be knowing by how many days is this lockdown going to be extended. We're still not sure, but those students who have gone back to their countries, if I'm going to send you an email regarding what steps you guys have to take when you're going to be coming back from your country, because right now, any student who's living in a foreign country will be coming back to India. There will be rigid rules for them, not just by the government, but also by the university. So a detailed email will be sent to you tomorrow regarding the same. And for now, the students cannot travel out or even come back. There is no transportation available, as you all know. Plus, students who are living in the hostels, uh, kindly just stay in the hostel. Do not panic. We'll let you know about any information that we get from Study in India or from the government in terms of travel or anything else.
Okay, and Komal, if let's say they have some questions, how can they reach out to you? Is there an email ID or a number where they can reach out to you if they still have
Yes.
more questions?
Yes. So what you can do is send me an email on admissions ID, which I'll post on the group now. You can use the admissions ID, or what you can also do is you can reach out to us through the WhatsApp group that we have created, and any questions, do feel free to ask, and we're always available in terms of any questions that you have. So yeah, so I don't think that should be an issue. You all can get in touch through WhatsApp group or even email IDs. Any of our email
So
IDs. We'll share the email ID with you.
if somebody has applied for pharmacy course and then realizes that Jain University doesn't have a pharmacy course, what happens in
Right.
that case?
Uh, and because the student is, I think the student should have initially known that we do not have the course. Now that you all are here for the foundation course and you want to study the pharmacy course, then we don't have any other option but to choose another university for your scholarship. But now that you are here, I would suggest that you please go through the website and see which is the other course that you would likely, if you would be interested in some other course which Jain University offers, and choose that as well. But if you're very adamant on studying pharmacy, then I'm sorry, but Jain University does not have any course related to pharmacy. Then I would suggest that you choose another university that has pharmacy in it.
Correct. But anyways, the preparation will help them, right? This foundation course,
Of
this
course,
preparation will
of
help
course,
them
of
for
course,
IND
of course.
SAT exam, right?
Totally.
Okay. Great. So I don't want to take too much of your time, Komal. I mean I want to thank you really for coming out here and asking and really solving some of their doubts, because they had a lot of questions around the IND SAT exam process.
Right.
And I would request you to probably share the email ID on the WhatsApp group so they can ask more questions there.
Okay.
But thank you so much for taking time
Thank you.
out and spending and answering these
Thank you.
questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, I'd like to add, I think I see a few questions here regarding the FRRO. Guys, do
Yeah.
not panic. Right now, we all know that the whole country, the whole world, in fact, is in a lockdown. For the renewal of your FRRO, please do not panic. Just send an email to the bona fide email ID. I'll post that as well on the group. Please send an email that you want a renewal. But otherwise, do not worry. Even the FRRO understands. But do send us a renewal email so that we communicate it with the FRRO and let them know that this particular student has requested for a renewal, and it will all be done through the software itself from our end. The only thing that you guys need to do is send us the document and an email to the particular email ID. I'll post that as well. And do not worry, there will be no fines that will occur. But make sure you send us an email. All right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Ashish. I really appreciate. I think there are many more questions. Okay. Okay, guys, if you have food problems, please get in touch with the the particular person, Mr. Ashish. He'll solve it for you. Can I attend the INSAT exam in Bangladesh? Of course, you can attend the exam in any country you wish to. Bangladesh, Nepal, Afghanistan, yeah, Bangladesh and Nepal students, you can attend it from your countries as well. Is there BDS available? No, we don't have BDS available at Jain University. Nah, nah. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Ashish, and
great.
all.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much, and all the best, guys. Please go through the videos, apply for yourself, and submit your applications. Make sure you get a confirmation email from Study in India that you have been registered for the scholarship, and all the best. 15th is the last day again, so make sure if you've not done it till now, please sit down today. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes and complete your application. Thank you so much, Ashish. Thank you
Thanks a
so
lot.
much.
Thanks a lot, Komal.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Yeah, bye bye. Yeah. All right. So I hope this was helpful and some of your questions got answered. Like she said that Komal ma'am will share with you guys the admissions email ID on the WhatsApp group. So you can ask as many questions, any doubt that you have in specific, you can ask her there. And yes, do fill the form if anybody has not yet done, not yet filled the form. Okay, so let's get started, folks. Okay, so we were talking about ratios, right? So as I mentioned, ratio, if let's say in a class of 100 students, if let's say there are 60 boys and 40 girls, what is the ratio of boys to girls? It was 60 upon 40, which could further be simplified as 3 is to 2. Okay. And a ratio, as much as simplify you do, as much as you multiply here, let's say by 100, you multiply here 100 as well, the value remains the same, right? Okay. Now I want to move ahead and I want to ask you a question. Let's say if I say the ratio of money with A is to B is equal to 3 is to 2. Okay. So let's say A is to B have a certain number of dollars with them. And I'm saying the ratio of the amount, the ratio of the dollars with them is 3 is to 2. From here, can I say that A has $3 and B has $2? Can I say that? Okay. So a lot of people are saying, yes, we can say that. Okay, that's incorrect. Okay, so that's wrong, guys. If I say that A is to B are in a ratio so that they are the amount of money they have is in 3 is to 2 ratio, you cannot say that A has $3 and B has $2. Okay, you cannot say that. All you know is just the ratio. It could be that A has 30, B has 20. It could be that A has 60, B has 40, because 60 is to 40 also is in the same ratio. This becomes 3 is to 2 only. So therefore, every time if it's given that two numbers are in the ratio, let's say A is to B, you cannot say what are exactly those numbers. Okay. All you know is a relationship. But if you know one number, you can tell the other number. So for example, if I say the amount of money, let's say A and B have is in the ratio of 5 is to 6. And if I know now that B actually has 1800 rupees. So can we now say what is the amount with A? Can you tell me what is the amount with A? If we know A is to B has money in the ratio 5 is to 6 and I know B has 1800 as the amount. So what would be the amount with A? Yes. So people are saying 1500. That's absolutely correct. Okay. So this is the simple ratio concept. Okay. Now another concept is also called as proportion. Okay. What that means is it means that if A is to B, A and B are in the same proportion as, let's say, into D, right? This means A by B equals to C by D. That means AB and CD, let's say, are in proportion, right? So what does this mean? That means A by B equals to C by D. Okay. Now, if you have the value given, let's say A is 10, B is 12, okay, and C is, let's say, uh, 240, okay, and somebody is asking you what is the value of D. Can we calculate that? Can you calculate what is the value of D from here? Okay. People are saying, okay. People are saying 288. Some people are saying 248. 288. Okay. Yes. So that's how we can calculate. Okay. That is the concept of proportion. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Now, also, one of the things, okay, let me just clean this up. Okay. If I say there is also something known as unitary method. Okay. What that means is, let me just share my screen again. Okay. So what this means is unitary method means that, for example, if let's say, if I say you cover 50 kilometers, okay, in 5 hours, okay, versus, let's say this is somebody called X, okay, and then somebody called Y. This person covers 60 kilometers in 3 hours, okay. And if you were to compare, saying that, hey, who is faster? How can you compare that? Can you compare who is faster? So what you simply do is you can actually calculate this, saying that, hey, 50 kilometers in 5 hours. So speed is equals to distance upon time. Remember, we did that already, right? Speed equals distance upon time. So 50 kilometers upon 5 hours. Okay. So this becomes nothing but your 10 kilometer per hour, right? So per hour basis, right? So that means this is your unitary method. Similarly for 60, it will be 60 upon 3 equals becomes 20 kilometer per hour. So when you do it per unit, that means per unit, per hour, now you can equate these two things. Okay. Now it is easy to compare. Earlier, it is difficult to compare. Is 50 correct or 60 correct? You don't know, right? Let's say if this was, let's say 30, right? How do you compare? Again, no, you cannot do that basis on 50 and 30, but you know 50 by 5, this is actually 10. This is also 10. Then you can say they are equal. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So before I come here, let me give you guys some simple questions. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so here's the simple question on the screen. Quickly do this, guys, so that we can move little fast. Okay, so are we done with this? So again, this is very simple, guys. All we have to do is we are saying divide 2200 rupees in the ratio is of 3:8. So how we can do this is 2200 in the ratio of 3:8, right? Now, when I say 3:8, we don't know what the exact number is, but if let's say this is 3x, this would be 8x, right? What we now know is that this number is divided into these two things, right? That means 3x plus 8x equals to 2200, right? Or 11x equals to 2200, or x equals to 200, right? If x is 200, this would be 600 and this would be 1600, isn't it? So you can say option 2, right? You could have done orally also without all of this is not required. You can see 22 is divided into 3:8. So 8 plus 3 is 11. So this total is becoming 11. Actually, it is nothing but 2200. So 11, but it is actually 2200, meaning there's a multiple of what? There's a multiple of 200, right? 11 into, actually it is becoming 3 plus 8, 11, but it is in reality it is 2200, meaning a multiplying factor of 200. So multiplying factor of 200 would go here and multiplying factor of 200 go in this. All right. So anyways, let's move ahead. Okay, now this is a good one. Okay. Sometimes if it's given, let's say A is to B, the number of chocolates, the ratio of the number of chocolates with A is to B is 3:4. And the ratio of the number of chocolates with B and C is 3:4. So the question is, what's the ratio of A to C? Can we calculate this? Some people are saying option 4, 3:4. Some people are saying option 1, 9:16. Let's see if you can get this one. So we don't know actual values of A, B, or C, or D. Correct? I mean A or B or C at this point of time. All we just know is ratios, right? So what you want to do is you want to equate the two. So it's given A is to B is nothing but 3:4. Okay. And it's also given that B is to C, B is to C is 3:4, right? So can I say A is to C is 3:4? Absolutely no. Absolutely no, I cannot say that. Why? Because B here is 4 and B here is 3. See, it is actually not 3 or 4, right? That means this must be 3A. Let's say this is 4A, correct? And B is to C must be, this could be 3B and this could be 4B, like that, right? So therefore these are not 3, 4 and like that. Now, for example, if I want to equate this 4:3, right? If I have to equate this, how will I make them equal? Because actually the value would be same, right? The value is same. So if I have to make this equal to this or this equal to this, what will I do? So I will make it a number which is, remember LCM, same concept. So what I'll do is I'll try to make this as this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll multiply, if I multiply here 3, and if I multiply anything in the denominator, I always have to multiply the same in the numerator also. Because if let's say one value is A by B equals to 3/4. If I multiply, let's say 5 here, I have to multiply 5 in the numerator also, right? And as long as I do that, no problem, because then I'm not impacting anything in the ratio, because it would be nothing but 3:5, 15 upon 20, which is the same as 3/4. That means you can multiply, right? But it will help us in comparing, right? So I multiplied 4 into 3, 12. So this would be 9. So that means now it actually becomes 9:12, right? And B is to C is 3:4. Now I have to make this equal to this one, but this has become actually how much? 12. So how can I make this also 12? Meaning if I multiply 4 here, and if I multiply 4 here, I have to multiply 4 here as well. That means it would be again 12, this would be 16. So basically, if I now compare, A is to B has actually become 9, sorry, 9, and this is 12, and B is to C is now 12 is to 16. So now it is easy to compare, right? Because now they are in the same format, right? B is both 12, so that means A would be 9, B would be 12, and C would be 16. So the question is, what is the ratio of A's to C? So I would say 9 upon 16, correct? So which is option 1. Did everybody get it? Very simple this is. So somebody saying that explain again. See guys, simple thing. I said A is to B was given to us as 3 is to 4. Okay. And B is to C is also given as 3 is to 4. Now, if somebody asks you, what is the ratio of A is to C? A is to C. You can't say 3 is to 4. Why? Because B is here 4 and B is here 3. But in reality, B's value should be the same, right? And which is fine because here these are just ratios, right? These are just ratios, right? Ratio doesn't mean that B is 3 or C is 4. That means they are in the ratio of 3 is to 4. It could be 30, 40, 300, 400, 3 million, 4 million, anything, right? So what I need to compare now is I need to equate these ratios and make them same, right? Because B is same, should be same here only. So how can I make them same? So I could either make this one like that or that one like this, right? Same thing. So if I have to make this B equal to this B or this B equal to this B, I know one good thing about a ratio. That means if a ratio is A by B, K, if I multiply into this, KA upon KB is also same. NA upon NB is also same, and YA upon YB is also same. That means any ratio A is to B, if I multiply anything in the numerator, top and down, the ratio remains the same, meaning it will still be A is to B, no problem. So that gives us the flexibility of making this the same. So if I have to make, let's say, this B equal to this B, what I can do, I can multiply here 3. If I multiply 3 here, anything in this one, right? Anything I multiply in the numerator or denominator, I have to do the same, right? Both sides. Here I multiplied by 3, meaning I have to multiply 3 here also, correct? So this will actually become, A will become 9, this will become 12. Now B is to C. If I have to make this 3 equal to this one, now this is B is how now? This is 12, right? So I have to make this as 12. What will I have to do? I'll have to multiply this by 4. If I multiply in the numerator by 4, I'll have to multiply the same by denominator. That means now B has become 12 and this has become 16. So that means A is to B is to C. If you actually ask me now, it's become 9 is to 12 is to 16, correct? And now if somebody asks us what is the ratio of A is to C, I'm saying it is 9 is to 16. Did everybody get it? All right. Okay, let's find out now the simple question. He says, which of the following is greatest? Can you tell which fraction is the greatest? Should we discuss, guys? See, when you compare ratios, right? So imagine if a number is like this, okay? Let's say if I say one number is 2 upon 7, comma 4 upon 7, comma 9 upon 7. So if somebody asks you which is the biggest fraction, right? So how do you actually calculate, right? How do you actually calculate? Meaning all you do is you do the simple division, right? 2 and then you divide by 7, right? And then what you do is 7 and then, right, 2 you have to divide. So 7 into 2 is 14, correct? I mean, so basically you put point and this becomes 0, right? This is how you go, right? Correct. So 7 into 2 14 and then 60 and then 7 8 56, right? Like this, right? Point to something something. Now we don't have to do all of that, right? We don't have to actually convert it into that format. We can see when the base is same, whichever number is bigger will be the biggest. Okay. Anytime you're confused with numbers like this, guys, don't worry. Take very simple numbers. Okay. Simply just take 1 upon 2 is one number and another number take 2 upon 2 is one number and let's say 3 upon 2. This is easy to do, right? 1 by 2 is nothing but 0.5, we already know. 2 by 2 is nothing but 1. 3 by 2 is 1.5. Now for example you can check, right, which one is the biggest. So therefore you can make a inference that whenever the base is the same, whenever the denominators are the same, the biggest numerator, that will be the biggest fraction. Okay, like this, right? And similarly the other way around as well. Okay, meaning you could draw, like for example, if let's say if you say you have numbers like let's say 9 upon 2 is bigger, or 9 upon 4 is bigger, or 9 upon 7 is bigger. So when your numerator, this is the same, right? Now what will happen is that whichever is the smallest one will be the biggest. Are you getting? Whenever numerators are same, the smallest denominator, that number will be the biggest, because this will go into how much? 2 into 4 point something something. This will be 4 into 2 point something, right? So of course you can say this is the logic. Now what happens is when the numerators or the denominators are not same like this, but if let's say the difference between numerator and denominator is coming the same, okay, if you see numerator denominator difference is how much? 2. Difference is how much? 2. Difference is how much? 2. Difference is how much? 2, right? So that means if somebody asks you there, okay, 13 by 11 comma 15 by 13 comma 17 by 15, right, comma 11 by 9, which is the biggest fraction? Okay, you have to solve for this. Okay, so you can simply say, right, 11 into 1 point how much? Now whatever your 2 is remaining, right, 11 has to go again here, right, 0.1 something, right? Whereas if you check here, 919 point 919 20 9 2, because it's 18, right, and then 2 and then like that, right? So therefore I can say this one will be the biggest one. So in this case, whenever the difference is same, difference between numerator and denominator is same, right, you can check that the smallest denominator will be the biggest number. Okay, therefore this is the biggest one. Okay, understood? This was easy to derive, or otherwise you can just do simple some calculation, back of the hand calculation, and you'll be able to get it. All right, okay, next question. What must be added to each term of 4:9 so that it becomes 2:3? So I hope this is done by everyone. So what must be added to each term of 4 is to 9 so that it becomes 2 is to 3, right? So of course, right? So 4 is to 9, right? These are the two numbers. So what you can do is you can say this is 4x, this is 9x, correct? And he's saying that what must be added to each term so that it becomes 2 is to 3. That means 4x plus, right? 4 is to 9. Each term of 4 is to 9 so that it becomes 2 is to 3. What are the answers, guys, you're giving me? Let me just check. Okay, so either you can do simply with these numbers as well, right? That means right, so for example, if I add, let's say the numbers, right? If I, let's say, add 3, right? 4 plus 3 12, 9 plus 3 12, right? 4 plus 3 7, 7 upon 12, it doesn't become this, right? If I add, let's say, 4, it becomes 8, and 9 plus 4 12, 8, and 8 by 12, right? So does it become 4 into 2 into 3? Yeah. So yes, what people are saying, what if I add, let's say, 10? Okay, so what would it be? 4 plus 6, 10, and 15, correct? Right? Yeah, so basically same number you have to add on both sides, right? So let's say we have 4 upon 9, right? Now if, let's say, I add 4, right? Let's say I want to add 4, I'll add 4 both sides. How much it becomes? 8 upon 13, right? No, it's not in the same. 6. So let's say if I say 4 upon 9, if I add 6 plus 6 plus 6, so this becomes 10 is to 15, which is 2 is to 3, right? So therefore you can say C is your option, right? Yes, so 6 is the correct answer, you're right. Okay, because if we add 4, it is becoming 4 upon 9. If I add 4, this is becoming actually 8 upon 13, which is not actually 2 is to 3, right? So this is not correct, this is not correct, this is not correct, right? Okay. Okay. Now there is also a powerful concept of partnership, okay, which actually uses the same concept, the concept of ratios. Now what this means is that, for example, if let's say A and B are friends, right? And they both, let's say, have a startup, okay? Now A and B are friends and they both have a startup. So let's say after 1 year, what happens is, let's say startup makes some money, okay? So let's say they make profit of 10 lakhs, okay? So now in a business where A is a partner in the business, B is also a partner in the business, how will they divide the profit, right? So again, always when you talk about profit division, there are two things that come here, guys. One is how much capital, for example, you may have invested, and it could also be a function of how much time you have invested, okay, for. So for example, okay, whereas B again would be C B and T B. Okay, so what this means is, for example, now let's say in this business, what happens is that A started the business initially, and A had put, let's say, 10 lakh rupees. Okay, initially A had put 10 lakh rupees, and he was there for 12 months. Okay, whereas your B, what happened is B came midway after 6 months. Okay, from 7 month, B joined, and then what B had done is uh, B had, let's say, B had put uh, 20 lakhs. Okay, and for how much? 6 months he has put. Okay, so the question is, how would you divide the profit? So again, it is always a combination of your time as well as capital. So actually he put 10 lakhs for 12 months, so it would be 120 is to how much he put 20 lakhs for 6 months. Again, this is 120, so it is actually 1 is to 1. So actually they will equally divide the profit, meaning this will take 5 lakhs and this will take 5 lakhs. Okay, like this. Got it? If let's say he had also spent, let's say if this person had also put 10 lakhs for 6 months, then he would, this will become 120, this will become 60, meaning this person would take half of this person's profit, right? Like this. That's how you actually divide profit. Now, using the same logic, can you attempt this question, please? Okay, yes, people done? Some people are saying 5 months, some people are saying, I think 4 months, some people are saying 3 months. So what did I tell you? I said, if you have to check how our profits, how they get divided, it will be the product of capital, right, and time. Okay, C here is capital, meaning the money that they have put in for the business. Okay, this is the time for which they're there. Okay, now it says ABC are partners in the same company and share profits in the ratio of 3 is to 5 is to 12. Okay, this is the ratio in which they're sharing the profits. All right, so the question is, if A invested 50,000 for 6 months, if A invested 50,000, okay, 50,000 for 6 months, okay, and C invested 1 lakh, okay, C invested 1 lakh, okay, so meaning 100,000, right? This is 1 lakh, right? 100,000 for 1 year. okay, which is let's say 12 months, okay. So he's saying how long B invested 1 lakh. So, okay, so this time into 1 lakh, okay. Okay, so you can simplify. This is nothing but 50,000 into 6. This would be, let's say your 3 lakhs, correct? This would be, I mean, I'm saying 3 lakh M, right? Right, this would be 3 lakhs and this would be how much? This would be 1 lakh and this would be 12 lakhs, right? Let's say, right? So, I mean, the ratio is basically 3 is to 1 is to 12 of this. So here he's saying 3 is to 1 is to 12. So, okay, this is 12, this is 3. Here, what is the, this is 1, right? 1 lakh into time. You don't know what is this time, right? But you know that this timing here would be 5, right? From that's where it comes, right? So that means it must be for 5 months, right? Because here are all, let's say your months, we are comparing months, 6 months, 12 months. So here, if you have to make this 5, it will be 5 months, right? So 5 months, right? So that's what it should be here. Understood? So this will be the ratio in which they'll be divided, and then all you do is you can just put it in the ratio of months. Okay, so what I'm saying is, okay, let me erase this. So simply it is given, guys, A is to B is to C. Okay, they are saying they're partners in the company. They share profits in the ratio 3 is to 5 is to 12. From where these ratios come? Remember, I had told you something. I had told you that this is nothing but this is capital into time, correct? Capital into time. This is also capital into time, right? Capital into time. Okay. Sorry, this is for B, right? This is for B. And similarly here also capital into time. This is for C person, right? Now the question is, and now we know what we know. We know that this is 6 months, okay? And the amount is how much? It is 50,000, okay? So I will say 0.5 lakhs. Can I say 0.5 lakhs? Can I say 0.5 lakhs, right? 0.5 lakhs and 6 months, correct? Here would be how much? He said for B invested 1 lakh, okay, 1 lakh into how much? Okay, time is not given. This is what we have to find out. Into C invested 1 lakh, so I can put 1 lakh into how much time? 1 year. So what will I put 1 year? Again, because we are putting in months, right? So this also would be in months, and this also I'll put in months. Months would be 12, right? So now if you actually do, the unit is lakh month, right? Lakh month is the unit. That means 0.5 into 6 would be nothing but 3 lakh month, correct? This is what it is. And this one would be 1 lakh and month. Month we don't know, right? Here we don't know how much is month. It's not 1 month, okay? We don't know how much is that 1 month, okay? Okay. So this is what we have to find out. And this would be how much? This is 1 lakh 12. This would be 12 lakh month, correct? This is what it is, right? Considering this is your unit, this is 3 is to 12, right? This is also same this thing, and this would actually is 1 into, we have to find out this how much for time he or she has put. Now the question was, how long did B invest 1 lakh for? See, the ratio is 3 is to 5 is to 12. Sorry, see, it is 12. Okay, it is given here. 3 is to 5 is to 12. So according to our ratio also, it's coming 3 is to, we don't know what this is, and this is 12. That means if everything is in the month, how much time would it be so that it becomes 3 is to 5 is to 12? It is 3 is to dash is to 12. So that means this has to become 5, right? Only then will it be falling in the same ratio. That means for how long did he invest? He invested for 5 months. Understood? Okay. One last very interesting question. Do you want to do this, or do you want to do this as your homework? One last question is also there. You want to do it now, or you want to do it homework? Okay, some people are saying classwork, some people are saying homework. Okay, let's do it right now, guys. This is a very good question. Okay, and there's a very high chance it will come, right? This type of question, but this is a difficult question, meaning a lot of people will not be able to do it, I think. Okay, so let's see if you can do it. Take your time and attempt. Should we discuss, guys, now? I think I've given you enough time. Okay. So it says Susie has 1 rupee coin, 50 paisa coin, and 25 paisa coins. Okay. The number of coins with her are in the ratio 5 is to 6 is to 8. Okay. So let's say here is Susie. Okay. And what she has is she has coins. Okay. So number of coins. Okay. And she has number of coins in the ratio of 5 is to 6 is to 8. Okay. What are this 5 is to 6 is to 8? Meaning these are 1 rupee coin. Okay, this is 50 paisa coin and this is 25 paisa coin. Okay, that means this is the number of coins and this is the ratio, okay, in which the coins are. Okay, we don't know how many total number of coins she has, but we know the total amount with her is 210. Okay, so now tell me, when the number of coins were with her are in the ratio 5 is to 6 is to 8, that means, can I say that she has 5 1 rupee coin? No, right? That's what I told right earlier as well. That means we cannot say. We can say she has 5k coins, right? K is a multiplying factor which is common everywhere, right? Here also let's say k, and here also k, right? That means the ratio is this, but we don't know whether this is 5, 6 or 8. Okay. Now, what would be the amount if let's say this is 5k, if 1 rupee is let's say coin, so what would be the total amount with her? 5k into 1, right? 1 rupee. So this would be nothing but 5k only, right? This would be 6k into 50 paisa. That means actual value would be 50 paisa is nothing but 0.5. That means this would be 3k, right? And this would be nothing but 8k into 25 paisa. 25 paisa is nothing but 0.25, which is 1 by 4. So that means this is 2k, correct? That means total amount with her actually would be 5 plus 3k, 8k plus 2k. That means how much is the total amount actually? It's coming out to 10k equals to the total actual amount is, he's saying, is 210 rupees, right? 210. That means k's value would be nothing but 21. That means if we find out k's value is 21, we can say what is the number of 5, what is the number of 1 rupee coin? Of course, here also 21k, you substitute 21 everywhere. That means 5, this would be 105, correct? And this would be 126 50 paisa coin she has, and she has 168 25 paisa coins. Okay, these are the number of coins she has. So the question is, find the number of 50 paisa coins with her. Come on, 50 paisa is 126, so we can calculate this. Okay, otherwise you can always go through the options also, guys. If this says what is the number of 50 paisa coins with us, and we know then the number of coins is in the ratio 5 is to 6 is to 8, you can take any option and say, okay, let's say 50 paisa coin is 120. If this is 120 50 paisa coins, that means k's value is 20, right? K's value is 20 as per this. So if k's value is 20, this would be 5 into 20, this is 100, plus this is 120, right? Plus 8 into 20, this is 160. So how much is the value coming to? How much is the value coming to? Sorry, this would be into 0.25, right? This would be uh, into 0.5. So it would be 100 plus 60 plus 40, which is 200, but which is not the case. That means this is wrong option, right? Like this also you could do. Okay, and then next you substitute 126, you'll get the correct answer. Otherwise the method would be like this. Did you guys get it? Did everybody understand this? Some of you have given the correct answer also. That means the number of coins were in the ratio 5k is to 6k is to 8k. Okay. Instead of the total number of coins, what was given to us was total amount of coin. If it was given the total number of coins, then here only we could have put this, right? Here only we could have said 5k plus 6k plus 8k equals to so many coins. But he didn't say total number of coins. He said total amount with her. Now, how will amount vary? Let's say this is 1 rupee. So 5k into 1 would be 5k. 6k into 0.5 would be 3k. 8k into 0.25 would be 2k. So he said this plus this plus this equals to 210 in amount. So k, once we figure out k, then it's easy. Okay. It's a different type of question, but these are the type of questions that are asked in exams. All right. Okay. So I think we will end here, right? Uh, Let me give you this as a homework. Okay. This last question. Okay, try to do it at home. Okay, and maybe we can discuss in the next class. All right. All right, people, then. Thank you very much for joining the class, and I hope you found it useful. Thank you and see you on Wednesday. Bye bye. Be safe. Take care.